This is to give my reflection on the matter of globalization and colonization, uh, which, again, like so many weeks, includes my own personal stance, which is Middle Eastern stance. So, what I'll be talking about is completely, or let's say, might be completely different from so many other people, which have different sociological perspectives based on the habitus they've had. The first thing I want to talk about is the matter of globalization, which I think of as the most modern colonization. Um, for me, globalization has come not like the term itself that has been introduced by many authors, but as some trendy terms, such as the 2 decades ago trends like feminism, or now matters on sexuality, or colonization itself, that are discussed in platforms such as social media that are mainly again introduced by the first world nations. And what we do in this process of globalization is to just be introduced to it, think of it, of course, and nothing more happens. I mean, there are people who have their stance against colonization, but yet it is not like a global world to me, which issues and values are the same. It is still not like that, and globalization does not function as it is introduced. The second matter I want to discuss is the last part of Rosabal Koto's paper, in which he describes how decolonization does not happen over a night, and how it is not like when we get to know the idea of decolonization, we actually get to be against it, and then it is just done. It is something that we have to apply on our everyday lives, and it happens as a collective teamwork in the end. And what I want to actually discuss in this part is the matter of music education itself. There is a comparison come into my head, which is the generation of people's parents as my age in Iran were brought up, such as my parents, were brought up in a severe condition of war and lack of so many things. They had to fight for everything, for their education, for arts, for so many things, even for example, at some rural areas for food. So what happens in this generation is that they tried to bring up kids who feel lack of nothing. So they were like, they wanted to grow kids without any sense of lack, so that they would actually impose those kind of feelings on their children in the opposite way. Let's say they did not have the education, the well education system, so they tried their best to give the best education system to their kids. What we have to do as music teachers, I believe, or what we're unconsciously doing, is that we are actually, for example, personally, I've been teaching my students the things that I was not taught. I was raised as so many other musicians in a classical, Western classical music method. I was told that this is the sublime art. I I was imposed of being competitive towards the best classical piano players. But then I grew up, I turned out to be a piano teacher, and now I am doing the exact opposite. I am trying to raise children, I mean, by children, I mean students, of course. I am trying to raise them as the way that they like music. I am trying to do the exact opposite at this moment, and I think this is the starting point. And in the end, I would like to introduce you guys to a book which is How We Survived Communism and Even Laughed by Slavanka Drakulik, which is, of course, about communism and how it ended in the Soviet Union, but of course has amazing ideas on how to stand against something that a nation does not want, such as revolution, decolonization, or even, for example, in this case, stopping communism.